Welcome to the Quilt 2024 Summer Camp. I have Bee Byrne here. Bee, I'm so excited to talk to you all about this event. So welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
So today we're going to talk about the teacher interview series that you do for this event. We're going to talk about Quilt 2024 and how it got started in January, the charity component, and how everyone watching right now can get involved by signing up and taking part and all that jazz. So let's start by talking about Quilt 2024. You did an event in January, so how did it go?
Oh, it was amazing. I was hoping that we would see 5,000 people signed up, and with weeks to go, we hit that, and then ended up going to nearly 9,000.
Wow.
These were quilters all around the world, more than 70 different countries had signed up, all different ages and skill levels. And they were just loving the workshops. There was so much data being transmitted across around the world with everybody watching them online and downloading. And yeah, it was fantastic.
Such great participation. Now, like if someone's watching this video for the first time and they're thinking, I haven't heard of this, tell us a little bit about how the event works.
Yeah, so it's an entirely online summit. So it's kind of as if you're going to QuiltCon or one of the really big events,
Yeah.
but you don't have to leave your house. So you've got access to more than 30 different workshops, which are mostly pre-recorded, although we're going to have a couple of live ones this time. So you can watch them like whenever you want during the course of the event. And then there are also this time some live events. But then the one thing that really catches a lot of people's eyes, as well as all these wonderful workshops, is the freebies and the giveaways.
Yeah.
So last time we had about $2,500 worth of freebies and downloads and giveaways that you could sign up for. And we're going to far exceed that this time. Free attendees get access to a certain number of these, and certainly over $1,000 worth of things each. This is each person has access to this. And then we've got two other tiers, friends who will get access to even more stuff, and they can watch the workshops for longer, and then VIPs who get the most access and the most free bits and bobs. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds
it's
so good. I want to dive in a little bit more into sort of the variety of workshops that are offered and the caliber of teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in January, we had so many amazing people. We had people like Joe Cunningham,
Mm.
who's a well-known quilt artist and a kind of fine artist. We had Mel Beach, who's famous for all her different types of quilting. And then we had Trisha Browning, I think her name is, who is the Australian queen of free motion quilting, who was just absolutely fantastic. And then in July, we're going to have people like Lila Gardunia, who's known as a kind of contemporary, modern, and traditional quilter, I guess. She's got this amazing chicken block of the month at the moment. And then people like Lyric Montgomery Kimmard, who is famous for running the Global Quilt Connections organization. She's going to be teaching one of the workshops, which is called Abstractalicious. So really it's teachers from around the world. Again, we've got Australian teachers, teachers in Europe as well, and teaching just such a variety of things. It's not like everything is modern or
Right.
everything is art quilts or anything like that. It's really a bit of everything you can imagine and all different levels.
Yeah, and I was scrolling through the creators, of course, because I'm interviewing them, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But some of them really popped out as looking like so much fun. Like AJ Young is going to do something
Oh,
really fun, and Cookie Washington is going to be doing like baskets and mats and things like that. So there's a variety. It's not just quilting. It's not just, one thing. It's a whole variety of creative projects, right?
yeah, absolutely. I refer to things as quilt adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some workshops like that. In fact, I suppose the workshop I'm doing about fabric weaving is also kind of quilt adjacent
Yeah.
because you can use it in anything. But yeah, it's crazy. It's because of course I never know what's going to get like what people are going to submit.
Yeah.
And I get so excited when I start reading through the submissions and all these different workshops because part of the reason, I know we're going to talk about this, part of the reason why this event started was because I was looking for something like this.
Mhm.
um, to go to, and something that would give you little tasters of lots of different things and introduce you to new teachers and new ideas, new developments. And it's just a thrill to see everything as it comes in, and get little previews and know how much amazing content is coming to other people in the future.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to be involved. You've enlisted me to do about 30 teacher interviews. It's been so fun so far. I've done about half of them. It's fun for me to get to know some of the great teachers that you have. And even if you choose, if you're watching this video right now and you choose the free sign up, you'll get to see those interviews, right?
Absolutely, yes. Because last time in January, we had some teacher interviews, which I did.
Yeah.
And that was content that was just for the VIPs. And I got so much great feedback about it. I was thinking it's really such a shame that more people don't get to see these interviews. And in fact, they will be becoming available later in the year
Yeah.
once the period expires. But yeah, I really wanted to bring that to more people. And I'm a huge admirer of the Quilter on Fire podcast.
Oh,
So it seemed like a no-brainer. And I was so delighted when you said yes.
yeah, it's
It
so
was,
much fun. It's
yeah,
been great to meet all these wonderful people. So there's one other thing that I really want to talk about, that's a big part of this event, and that's the charity component. So tell us about that.
yeah, so there's several components to this. I live in Oakland in California, and the whole Bay Area is known, San Francisco especially, for having a big unhoused population. And certainly on the outskirts of Oakland, it is just tragic where there are these kind of mini shanty towns, and people living out of vehicles and so on. And it's just heartbreaking. And at the same time, I'm very aware, not only am I an immigrant to America, but Oakland has such a long history. I mean, it was the home of the Black Panthers. It's been a part of the African American history for so long. And not only am I an immigrant to the Bay Area, but specifically, I've moved from San Francisco to Oakland. And there's a big gentrification thing going on, people buying houses. I mean, the housing here is insanely expensive. And coming in, I feel some guilt at making this worse and contributing to this imbalance. And just, it's not just, of course, African American people that become homeless, it's everybody,
Yeah.
can happen to anyone if in the right terrible situation. And knowing that there are children in these situations struggling to get their education, it was hard enough when everybody's children were experiencing like isolation and lack of resources during the pandemic. And that was just a taster. And of course, most people who were housed had internet during that time. But imagine not having access to internet during that time, and what your education would be like, not having access to the internet in the evenings, or any kind of stable resources. So there's this amazing charity in Oakland called the Community Education Partnership. And it's a recognized NGO, audited and so on, and they do amazing work. They will link children with mentors, and they also run after school events and workshops for kids, just so that they can get that little bit of extra help, and so that they've got a kind of routine stability, regardless of what else might be happening in their lives, where they've got somewhere where they can go and practice their reading, and just generally kind of help improve. Because there's so many children, not just in America, of course, it's an international issue, where when they miss that early education and have trouble with reading, it's,
Yeah.
of course, it's like a huge effect later on in life. There's not much way to get around having trouble reading.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going to have an effect later. So yeah, when I was able, I contribute 10% of the profits to this charity. And when I was able to give them a decent sized check after the January event, it was, I mean, that's that's not the whole reason why I do it, because obviously I need to make some money and I have a living and so on. This is my full-time career. But being able to contribute to that organization and know that that was making a difference to the people most at need in the community that I'm so happy to be living in. You know, that was a big thing.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. You're doing it all over again for the summer camp event. So let's talk about the different types of tickets you can purchase. You already mentioned free, friend, and VIP. So what's the difference?
Yeah, so in January we just had the free and the VIP. So I'm not just interested in giving back to my local community here in Oakland. One of the things I really care about is inclusivity. And of course, again, referring back to the pandemic, like there were people there that couldn't afford to be online as much as other people, and had restricted access to such services. So I wanted to make sure that the free element was always present in these events, same January and same in July. So there's no reason why you can't access this content, even if perhaps people are like going to libraries or something to use their internet. But everybody gets free access for 24 hours to each session, as there's a group of sessions released each day. For those people that can't access everything in just 24 hours, originally there was just the VIP option, which still exists, which gives you access for much longer. 6 months you're going to have to access all of these workshops. But this time I realized that $49 for the VIP is a chunk of change for a lot of people. And so now I've introduced what I'm calling a friend tier. So for $20, you get access to everything for 2 weeks. And so $20 is, potentially a small stack of fabric or a new book or a new tool or something like that. And I felt like that was a decent amount, like a manageable amount for a lot more people, and meant that they wouldn't have to rush to access everything within the 24 hours. And then, of course, there are the freebies and the giveaways, which are so popular. So free people, free attendees get access to a ton of those.
Yeah.
Friends get access to even more, and then VIPs get access to even more.
Yeah.
So, for instance, one of our sponsors is Felt Right, RITE. And they've started doing, I think originally they were doing acoustic panels for use in the home
Yeah.
offices and so on. But these felt panels just happen to make perfect design walls.
Mhm.
And they've also started making them in, well, I don't know how recently, in all sorts of different designs. So you can have a kind of Arizona sunsets in blocks built behind you. And so they are providing a $300 gift card for free attendees, an extra $300 for friends, and another $300 for VIP. So you could end up with $900
Yeah.
to put towards one of these beautiful modern design walls. And of
Oh,
course, that's just one of the sponsors. We've
yeah.
got so many other people as well. Lisa from Dippy Dyes,
Yeah.
who was one of the teachers in January, is coming back as a sponsor for one of the early bird giveaways, because the sooner you register, the more giveaways you can enter. And then Designs by Sarah J is another, Sarah Maxwell is another sponsor of our early bird giveaways as well. So I'm just so grateful to people who want to kind of make these events so fabulous. And of course, all the teachers have different giveaways that they're running as well, and freebies for you to download. So there's really just so much for people to get hold of. And these vary, these downloads, from things like a one page of 10 things to remember when you are doing this type of quilting,
Yeah.
to a whole nother online course that you can do at your own time.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So the giveaways sound fantastic and the sponsors sound wonderful too. And you have loads of sponsors as well, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to also, I'm a big fan of that phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats. I wanted to make this an opportunity for anyone really who was involved in the quilt space, to be able to communicate about their services or products to people. And people are generally very happy to exchange, a $50 gift certificate or something, or a downloadable pattern, in exchange for getting the attention of, tens of thousands of quilters potentially. I'm aiming for 12,000 this time in July.
Yeah.
Uh, and so, yeah, people are very happy to get involved. So there's going to be a wide variety of things. And of course, then you're also introduced to all these different designers and suppliers that you might not have known about before. And I'm all about supporting small business as well.
Absolutely. So great. So someone's watching this right now. They're probably thinking, you had me when you said 30 teachers, or you had me when you said charity, or you had me when you said all these sponsors and prizes. So where can they go to the website to get involved?
Absolutely. Quilt2024.com. 2024 is numbers. So quilt2024.com. That is where to go. And it's absolutely free to register. And obviously there's suggestions that you might want to upgrade, but you want to stay on the free level. That's what the majority of people do. And that is absolutely fine with me. I want as many people as possible to be able to access this content.
Okay, and so it's early right now, but this event takes place in July. So tell us about the dates.
It does. So registration opens from June 5th. So you can go ahead and register as soon as you see this. But the actual event is July 17th to the 21st. And I mentioned earlier that most of the content is recorded so that you can just watch it whenever you want. But we do have a number of live sessions this time, one of which is Elliot Anderson talking about their Euphoria quilt project, which was a partnership with a group of trans and non-binary quilters from around the US, and is just, I mean, it's created an amazing quilt and is just such an amazing project, which is continuing. They're going to be doing a tour around the US. So that's going to be one of the live sessions that people will be able to catch. And of course, if you can't make the live, there'll be a recording available later on as well. But there's going to be lots of other opportunities to create community, both online, and also I'm partnering with a number of local quilt stores because there's a sew along. Everyone will have a free pattern for a zero waste pouch that Radha Weaver has contributed, which is going to be amazing. And I'm encouraging everyone to visit the local quilt stores to either actually make this pouch with the people at their local quilt store or kind of participate getting their materials from them.
Yeah. Oh, I love Rada. I just invited her last week to be on the podcast. So that'll be coming soon.
She's amazing. She's a member of my local guild in San Francisco. And yeah, she's a fantastic teacher and speaker as well.
Yeah, I love everything she's doing. If you are interested in the world of jeans and recycling and upcycling and all that, then you got to follow Radha Weaver, Radha, on Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about your Instagram. So there's a few different things that you can do if you're watching right now and you want to make sure you're keeping up to speed. You can go to the website at quilt2024.com and click on join our newsletter to follow along. You can also go to the Instagram, which I'll throw up a quick slide so people get the visual. It is at Quilt and Learn, QuiltNlearn, at Quilt and Learn for this event.
And you'll find all sorts of kind of very cheeky content for like memes and things like that, but also updates about the different workshops, the different giveaways, reminders to enter different things. Some of the giveaways you can enter each day for extra entries. So it's never spam, it's never doing a hard sell. It's all about giving you useful information or, giving you a bit of a smile during the day.
So great. Well, B, thank you so much for hosting this wonderful event. So it's called Quilt 2024 Summer Camp. You have created a community where people can do what they love and experience a whole bunch of new teachers. And also, you're doing a really wonderful thing for charity. So if you're watching this right now, you can go to quilt2024.com and sign up. There's three different options. There's the free, there's the friends, there's the VIP. You can choose your own level of involvement right there. So we'll see you guys all in July.
Thank you so much. Bye. See you there.
See you there.